Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we will go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4 hour. As you can see, we are sternly testing this resistance zone, seeing if we can get supported by it. And I mean, looking at it, is looking very much like a descending triangle, which is obviously a statistically a bearish formation. So yeah, what I will say though is we have got the trend line obviously above, so the downward sloping trend line. So if we do break above that, that could clearly give us some upwards impetus. But I mean, it's hard realistically to say we haven't actually closed below it already now. Not closed, we haven't closed the 4 hour candle, but to say that we haven't actually broken the bottom. So we could potentially see the move down. I mean, initially to well, anywhere between kind of here really. But I would probably guess we would get down to around the mid 1600s anyway, rather than just the high 1600s. That's if we do fully and formally lose the underside of this support area. So yeah, we also obviously have this trend line coming in. So I mean, that comes in because what I am looking at is basically we've got this level here and this level here. So I'm thinking anywhere between here at this level, between this level at this level, we can get supported, and then the trend line pretty much coincides with that whole area also. Regardless of whether we are going to come work our way all the way down to 14k, I think we'll get a bounce around this area anyway. What the bounce would look, it would be aesthetically pleasing chart wise for that bounce to come back and test the underside of this, basically will be resistance now. Test the underside, and then we either break back above, then start to look good and bullish again, and we've just put a nice higher low on this trend line and onwards and upwards to basically all-time highs, or we fail on the back test and then come back down, then take out the trend line and the level, then come and test this area, the actual midpoint of this range, this 14 to 18k range, and then decide whether we can mount move back up from there, or whether we're going to lose this level and then come down and test around the 14k. So those are the scenarios. Yeah, those are the scenarios. So if we have a look at the DXY, we can kind of see what is going on here. Obviously, the DXY is having a nice little move up here after basically getting above that trend line that we've got drawn in. This trend line definitely just seems to be quite important. It has, I mean, tested there, tested. Once we broke through, back tested, bounced off it. Back tested there, smashed right through it that time actually, like it wasn't there. So that was obviously a bit different. And this is obviously election stuff though. So then yeah, bounced, pretty much traded under it, managed to break above. I mean, you can just see how important this trend line is. So we are back above it now, and that has basically given us this nice big green candle. Well, I say big, it's big in the context of the time frame, I guess. Also, it's only just over halfway through anyway, so it could end up higher. But yeah, I mean, realistically though, I am still looking for this to top out somewhere. It could be here, it could be here. But I don't necessarily think we are gonna get up to this level here. But if we do, I mean, if we do, so be it. We still will be lower relative to this high and this high. And obviously between this high and this high, we did get like potential new lower highs that did get taken out, like mini ones looks. And this could just end up being a mini one. Take that out, maybe even come up to around here. Maybe even up to... well, maybe even up to 94s, and then it will still be like a bigger lower high compared to these two, and then come down again from there. So yeah, I mean, I'm still obviously bearish with this, but there's clear room for upside. So yes. Stocks as well, they lost that level. They're they're testing this next level, next important level for us, in the S&P anyway. So are we going to bounce here, or are we going to come below? I mean, it's just the speed that we come down here, I think I did say this previously, the speed that we come down does kind of indicate we are going to get a bit more momentum to the downside, and then we can kind of see this sort of zigzag trading in like a larger time frame range. So I mean, what you do kind of expect when you see a big move like this, I know this is a 4 hour, but if we looked at this on other time frames, it's just this is the range of the move, a midpoint retest, and then do we bounce or do we break it and come for a 100% retest? That is the name of the game in the bigger time frame. So unless we do bounce at this high now, get supported here, and even then it could just look like a head and shoulders. But if we don't bounce here, start to move back upwards, it would look like at least a midpoint retest in stocks. So probably have a downward effect on Bitcoin. We do know that there is a relationship there. Ethereum, Bitcoin. Like I said, we are at an important level here. I don't expect us just to take this out like it's not there. I would expect some form of a bounce. That bounce doesn't necessarily have to turn into a fully fledged reversal. But it could do. First and foremost, let's get that bounce and let's not just leave this area. So yeah, that's that. Sorry, just go to the Bitcoin, the dollar pair, and you can see we're still hovering around these highs. That is not bad. That is not this chart obviously looks bullish, as you can see. Nothing really bearish about this chart. BTC dominance as well, looking at very much like a bull flag, but I mean, how high can this go? On the daily, if we put the moving averages on, we are approaching the 200 day moving average. I don't think I've got the 200 on this. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Where is it? Oh, this is not the this is a simple moving average, but yeah, we are approaching the 200-day moving average. So that pretty much is a level that we could get resisted from. But yeah, so are we having a swing failure above this massive descending wedge, or are we on the uptrend now? We'll have to see. But yeah, obviously I do want this to come down. I do want altcoins to have at least a bit of a reprieve. But yeah, we'll see. We will have to see what happens there. Silver, still within its tightening range, but anyway, we'll look at these wider markets in the evening. So let's go back over to Bitcoin. Let's have a look at that. How is that 5-day 9 looking in the context of the levels? I mean, if there is to be a top put in here in this move up, this looks like it could. This is a good candidate for that top. Maybe calling it slightly before the weekly does, but if we do want to have a look at the weekly hasn't been anywhere near as good TD wise as the 5-day. So I mean, like I said, I will just put more weight on the 5-day just on the basis top. Yeah, that's all I would say about that. Let's have a look at the stochastics finally. Actually, sorry, let's look at the daily. I did want to look at the daily. Yeah, daily 9 here as well. So daily 9 at resistance after a big move, after an indecision candle. Well, there you have it. This level here will definitely, for me, be a trigger. The low of this candle beforehand. So basically 17,200, of which we are only $300 away, but we are playing with big numbers here now. So when we were like roughly half the Bitcoin price, we're talking $150 away, obviously relative values. So we aren't far away from what will trigger a move down, I believe, taking out this low. In the context of this trend, I mean, yeah, very likely to get a bounce around this level, but then it's a case of do we bounce and then come back and take it out, or do we bounce and just go bullish again? But remember, daily 9s, 1 to 4 day correction. I mean you could even argue we're on a 1, 2, 3, a quadruple 9, but Yeah, you could argue we're on a quadruple 9, but I would say this 9 in particular did actually trade sideways to down, so this did play out as it should have done. This one obviously traded straight back up, so that is included as, I would say this is more likely the first 9. This is the second 9, just traded straight up, and this is the triple 9, the triple 9, the triple 9. You often, if you get to a triple 9, that usually is the point where it's like, right, okay, let's actually have some trend reversal. What is it that Tone Base calls it now? I forgot now. MRI, momentum reversal indicator. Yes. So okay. So the third 9 is when we can potentially get a momentum reversal. So we could get some downside. But like I said, Bitcoin macro is bullish. People looking to get involved. Companies looking to buy. People will be looking at the dip. It's just a case of where does that dip come down to? What again? I've already said what would look nice. What would look nice to me is 14k. We could 12k would be fine, but 14k would be better. 14k plays into my 14 to 18k narrative. That is not just a call I'm making just to try and be right and try and be like, well, I told you so. This is my call. If I'm right, I'm right. It's just what looks good. Like good chart wise. I mean, I just looked at so many charts and so many different assets, and you just get a feel for how charts look. They all kind of trade the same. They're all basically human bot trade. They're all the sort of same traders. Charts often they have like the movement of markets just has a way, and you sort of get to see and understand and just get a feeling for that way over time when you've looked at charts, so many different charts for so many years, and it just would look nice and normal for this to come down to around 14k, trade this zone out a bit, and then I think it will break up. I think we'll be bullish, but that's just a macro view, but we could break down from there. But nonetheless, I do think a range there, whilst it is decided, the market decides whether we're going to break up above to all-time highs and beyond, or whether we are going to break down and absolutely wreck people. Yeah, that's it. That's what will remain to be seen. So stochastics, lastly, stochastics. As you can see, 4 hour coming down, 8 hour coming down, 8 hour coming down, coming in on a trend line. 10 hour coming down, 12 hour. This is going to be the interesting one for me. I can't see us holding this trend line this time. There's no point in making calls without confirmations, but again, it's just I don't think we'll hold it this time, but we'll see, and that will precipitate downside. Daily turning back down as well. 2 days okay. 2 days okay, not fed through to the 2 day. I mean 3 days okay, starting to look like it's coming down, but it's just as okay as the 2 day, pretty much the same. 5 day looking like it wants to turn a little bit. Weekly, well, it's got a kink in its trend, hasn't it, but not moving yet. Bi-weekly, it's okay, it's up there, it's holding up there. So I mean, just that stochastic read does just tell me, just tell me, maybe expect 14k. Maybe expect us to trade in this range. Maybe don't expect higher prices. So yeah, that is it. Remember, this is not a financial advice. It's not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, guys. And I will speak to you guys later on today.